Hi everybody, welcome back to GearGossip. Well, as a long-time user of the AD5 by Boss, it's my pleasure and daunting task to present the AD-10 by Boss, the latest flagship acoustic processor by this company. If you've seen this sort of pedal before, the VE8 looks quite similar, different color, same casing. I try the impossible and be as quick as I can be. Okay, for this thing. Let's just get started. First, a quick and dirty rundown of what is in there in terms of effects and processing. We have 2 in that you can use at the same time or independently. You have a noise gate that you don't see here, but it's hidden there. You have a 4-band equalization, bass, mid, treble presence with full parametric mids and a good and strong low cut. You have a boost function for your solo work. You have an FX loop that is switchable for all the external beautiful stuff that you might want to use. You have anti-feedback, feedback reduction that is either automatic or manually adjusted. I want G# to not boop. That's manual. Then we have acoustic resonance, some guitar models that make your piezo guitar sound a little bit less like a piezo guitar. We have a compressor, or more compressors, delay, a chorus, reverb unit, tuner, and hidden there is a very basic looper. And we have XLR outs, we have line outs, stereo, mono operation, and we have phones. And then I have 3 modes of operation. The first mode is the manual mode, indicated by this dot. This is what you see, is what you get. So everything that is dialed in here is your sound. Switch it on, that's the sound. The next thing is memory mode. That means step through your 10 predefined setups. So all these equalizer, boost, acoustic resonance, compressor settings, you can have 10 of them. And you can play them and step through them. No confirmation, no, yes, 4 and then select it. No, they play right away, okay? And then you have stomp mode. Stomp mode is in one of your presets, 3. You might want to have these things here working. That is stomp mode. So whatever is assigned to this button in 3 is activated with a foot switch. Okay? That's it. That is stomp mode. Thank God you're not relying on the German translation. Okay. Okay, and as you have seen, the more perceptive might have noticed 3 buttons, foot switches. Almost free assignable, and if you hear that growling, this is my stomach. I'm hungry. And yeah, you can expand it by 1 expression pedal or up to 2 additional foot switches. Boss FS5 times 2 or FS6. That was the quick rundown. And now for more great and dirty details. As I've already mentioned, 2 inputs. They're located here and they have individual gain knobs. They are on the back side and hard to see and very small and impossible for small stages. And we have 1 LED that shows you if it's too loud or not. Why we don't have an LED for each input, I don't know. There's maybe a Boss complaints@boss.com. I don't know. Well, you can select channel 1 or channel 2 or both. And if you say both, this is your mix. Okay, 50 is both are equally loud. Okay, and if you ask yourself, do I have to do it up and down, pressy thingy? Yeah, I would have loved the rotary encoder. Complaints@boss.com. Yeah, that's the mix. The next thing in the signal chain is the noise gate. The noise gate is nowhere printed. It's long pressing on EQ on off and it says 0. This is the noise gate. Up and down pressing thingy and exit. Noise gate. I did not notice any excessive noise or rumbling or hiss. It's obviously off, so I'm fine with that actually. Now for things that you can actually hear, the equalization. One thing that I did very frequently while testing this unit was forgetting to switch it off and on. Like, oh, that's maybe more the esoteric kind of bass style. No, you have to switch it on first. Equalizer. So you have 4 bands: bass, mid, treble, and presence, and a level dial for compensation. And you have frequency switching. Mid frequency, this is 500 Hertz. Up and down, no rotary encoder, no, still not. And long pressing gives you the Q factor. How broad or steep your mids are. And then you have a low cut. This is the low cut frequency. 280 is a little bit, let's say 170 Hertz low cut. Did you notice that? I switched it on, and then I had the opportunity to select my frequency. Then I decide on stage, okay, this is too deep. Up with the frequency. Touchy, low cut. And then you don't hear a thing because you switched it off by pressing. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, the manual is plain awful, but if that's the way it's intended, all in all, the thing is pretty effective. Here are some examples. Flat and then changed sounds. The next thing in the signal chain is boost, and it's activated with this foot switch by default, but can also be with this little thing. Why it is that way you will see. Boost on, and this is the level. How loud the boost is. It can also be lower than the original signal. And long pressing tells you tone. You also have a tone, so you can dial in with one button, volume and a tone, a dark or a bright solo sound, for example, or finger picking. The next thing is the FX loop for your external beautiful effect sections. I cannot show now because there's nothing plugged in there, and if it's not plugged in, it doesn't react. What you can adjust is the volume, what's coming back, the level, and via deep edit, is it serial or parallel? Like a mix between original and a reverb maybe, or is it a serial loop? Now, anti-feedback. I need a lot of feedback reduction, because I'm playing darn loud on stage with my acoustic guitars. But it still makes no sense to showcase here because I'm sitting right in front of a subwoofer. So I get feedback no matter what I do. This means the amount of reduction for the frequencies that it detects automatically. And the manual mode would be frequency. This is G sharp 2. This is a note. And if it says long edit, depth, that's strong, please. Now for acoustic resonance. This is the circuit that you might know from the AD-2. At least I guess so. You have 3 types, natural, wide and bright, different guitar models. You can dial in how much of this you want, and you can add long press tone. Oh, so you can fine tune that sound also. Now, let's just take a listen to it. Off, natural, wide, bright. And with a tone, you can have your natural sound a little bit more brighter. Or the bright sound darker. Hooray. By the way, this is the starting point for your acoustic sound, not the equalizer. I would always start with acoustic resonance. The next thing is compressor. We have 2 compressors in there, a soft and a hard compressor. Well, it can be used for getting off the edge of your piezo attack or completely squash everything to death. Yeah, use it according to taste. Here's the soft. And the hard. And the deep edit would be the attack of your compressor. This is for advanced users, so it's not for me. The next thing that is in there that is very welcome from my playing style is a delay. We have 3 types of delay in there. I think so because it's not mentioned in the manual at all. Delay, modulated delay, and reverse. And it's operated with this switch for on-off, and this is stepping through, later. Time, the speed, and the level. This is delay. This is chorus only. These dials have nothing to do with the chorus, okay? It's just delay. The deep edit is the feedback and the note. This is a quarter or dotted 8. Time? I have a dial? No, it's a tap delay actually. You can assign one of these buttons, foot switches, to tap or use an external switch for tapping your delay. Okay? And here are some delay sounds. And then we have a chorus, the 1-button chorus here. This is normal and 3 different chorus sounds. And the deep edit would be the level for this. That's it. Here are some chorus sounds. And then we have ambience, some sort of reverb in there. We have amount of the type, short, mid, and long. And the deep edit is tone. You have an additional tone for your reverb sound only. And you have one more switch for ambience. This is ambience out. Is it XLR and line? Is it XLR only? Is it line? Is it nothing? So no reverb on your outputs. And each time you press it for a certain time, you have the level. You have the master for your ambience. This is the reverb master. And here are some ambient sounds. Well, actually, it's not my favorite reverb sound, by the way. I heard better things in terms of reverb, but they cost a bit more. And the last thing to cover is the looper. That's the default position for the looper. You can position it somewhere else, but that's the default way. Both, and it says LP looper. Exit. Flashing red indicates record something. And then we have this operation. Red record, green play, yellow is overdub, green is play, tick tick, double is stop. Flashing green means there's something recorded. The next time you play, you press it's play. And if you want to stop and clear, it's tuck, tuck, hold and cleared. If you want to adjust how loud the stuff is that you just recorded, it's menu, memory, loop level 50. That's just as loud as you recorded, or louder, or not as loud. What is recorded? Everything except for ambience, delay, chorus, the boost, everything. And the looper is independent. That means you can step through different sounds, switch on the delay, or just use different memory positions, presets. The looper runs through. So much in terms of what you can do to your sound. And the next thing is operation. Now for operation, no. Let's just hear some sounds, because the next thing will get pretty long. The next thing to cover is switches, the built-in switches. As you have seen, 3 built-in switches, external expression pedal, or up to 2 external switches. These are labeled boost, delay, tuner, and mute, because that's the default function of these pedals, these switches. The default. It can be something different, because every of these up to 5 foot switches can have any function from a list, with 2 exceptions. One thing that you cannot change is these 2 initiate memory mode, back, and these 2 change this switch from whatever is programmed here to looper. This is always looper then. Back and boost off. Now, what could I program these switches to? Decent list for this. The expression function could be output ambience or looper level. And you could map funny features to these switches, to like memory manual mode or tuner on off, anti-feedback scan, FX on off, tap tempo, in select, so select the input, looper function, looper stop, looper clear, anti-feedback scan, memory up and down, and something like this. Everything that you can set to these switches is global, okay? It's the same for every preset and for the manual mode. You cannot change this in between your presets. One thing that you can change is this FX on off thing. Let's have a look at the boost. This is boost. Hooray. And this is boost also. This is the foot switch for boost. But in real life, it's FX on off, and the boost function is mapped to it. Default. You can change that. So this is FX on off, memory for boost, boost. You have all these nasty things flashing slowly. That means the switch doesn't affect the setting. Let's say I want to have acoustic resonance on and compressor on and the delay blinking fast off no matter what happens. Okay? Just for the fun of it. Exit. Now delay on. And now the delay is also an FX on off. Okay? And boost. And here we are. The delay was switched off. And boost, acoustic resonance, and compression is called up. What can you map to FX on off? Equalizer, boost, FX, acoustic resonance, compressor, delay, chorus, ambience with one switch or 5 of them. These settings are per preset and manual. That means if the boost pedal or the delay pedal or the external pedal, whatever, is assigned to FX on off, it's FX on off for every preset and the manual mode, but what you assign to it is individually for each preset. Preset 3, and your boost says boost, EQ, compression, and ambience. And number 4, preset 4 says boost is delay, compressor, and chorus. Compression, and chorus. What you cannot do is boost switches on, boost, EQ, compression, and ambience. And in the next preset, it's tap tempo. That is not possible. And by the way, if you want to have this pedal, for example, to be the looper, all these colors, the red, the green, the overdub, the whatsoever, also works. So now for the ugly part, the manual memory and stomp mode. Manual is what you see is what you get, indicated by this red LED here, this dot. So this is the setting, this is what you hear, except for things that are deep edited. No, this is the thing that you hear. Now you want to have access to your 10 presets. Why it's only 10 and not 99 for my 100 and 1,000 songs that I play, I don't know. The default would be And up and down, this is your memory slots. This is your presets. 10 and 1, 2, wow, wow, wow. And back to manual mode. If you want to use your feet or your foot, those two. Now you access memory with your foot or your feet, depending on size. And yeah, these two now serve as up and down. You can step through your presets. You don't have to confirm anything. Just up and it plays a different sound. Down, it plays a different sound. By the way, while the looper, if you're using it, is running, this is possible. These presets do not affect the looper. It's independent. Now, I've told you how to map things per preset to your FX on-off. How do you do that? You need the stump mode for this. But where is the stump mode? Long pressing these two. Now I'm in free whatsoever memory mode, and these two no longer function as up and down things, but as boost or whatever you have mapped to them. If you're leaving memory again, you're in manual mode. If you're pressing memory again, you're in stomp mode. Up and down would be here. And long pressing, those two again function as up and down in memory mode. You could also use the whole thing in stomp mode all the time and map memory up and down to the external switches and so on. Please refer to the Great English Manual for all these nasty stuff. I hope everybody got that. Now, maybe you have the impression that there's things that I do not want to change at all with my presets. Delay, compression, ambience is fine with me, but maybe the equalization I want to use for the venue I'm playing for the guitar that I'm using. So I don't want to change, okay? You at the venue, you say, okay, I need more treble. And then you go to the preset 3 and your treble content goes boop, because it's written into that preset. And if you want to say, no, I want to have the equalization unchanged by any preset. Here's how you do that. Exit, delay. Everything is lit. That means everything in there is preset. It starts flashing, and that means no matter what you're using, what preset, it's always that equalization, the one that you see. And no matter where you are, memory, up and down, blah, 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 this setting is active. And if you change it, no matter where you are, you change it from there for everything else. This is really, really good. Think about it for some minutes. Now we go even deeper. I just mentioned having the same EQ setting for every preset is a nice thing. But maybe you want to have these equalization settings for your sound, like a little bit fatter for finger picking and wide and open for strumming. Then compensating for the venue. Woo. You could use another equalizer, maybe, and you have one. Actually, you have 3 equalizers in there. Follow me on this. 2 in, selectable, and an equalization. The equalization is for both exit and tuner. Equalization, what's that? You can switch on and off and adjust an equalizer for the selected channel, channel 1 or 2. Warning, this is what took me hours actually. You're adjusting channel 2 at the moment, but let's leave it. Selected is channel 1. You won't hear a thing when you dial in things, but you will change it. You get lost pretty easily. So please check that you're adjusting the channel that you hear. So it's a little bit up to what you're attaching to it. 2 pickups for the same guitar or 2 different guitars. You have a global EQ and noise gate and a phase switch, by the way. To preset your sound for the whole thing. And then use the equalizer here to adjust for venue. Okay? That's a very cool, very good thing. Why I cannot have the same approach for compression and acoustic resonance is not really understandable, but it is that way. One more thing for the inputs. Maybe you want to have something in there that is better not affected by all these effects, like a stomp box or a drum computer. Then you can say menu, memory, here, off or on. On means whatever is connected to 2 ignores everything and goes straight to looper and ambience and out of the box. And while we're at it, routing, we have an output dial, obviously. And we have 2 XLR, mono or stereo. We have 2 line, and one of these lines is phones also. How that is working when the thing is selected for stereo and mono and whatever is connected, I have no idea. Sorry, folks. The manual is no help here, and some kind of lost my nerves on it. And what you can do with these output menus is you turn it up and everything gets louder, the phones, the line, and the XLR. And you can also say, no, I want only the line, for example, to be affected by this dial, and the others, like XLR, have a fixed thing, a fixed output. So you can use the XLR for going front of the house and have somebody dial in a good sound for your audience. And if you decide, my stage monitor is a little bit too low, whoop, and the output is not affected. The XLR, the line is louder, the XLR stays on the same level. Very good. Or vice versa, you have your big active speakers connected to the XLR outs, and you have your phones, your in-ear monitoring, to a fixed value. You just know, that's loud enough, I don't hear this crappy audience. And this dial is output of the audience, for the audience only. And if they say, can turn it down, I want to talk a bit, you can do that. And still have your phones blasting away. So much for routing. And now for verdict. My verdict. Okay, the first things first. Is this a unit for me? I do have an 85, so this is not for me, for a simple reason that I did not mention yet. Did you notice something? Floor unit. Okay, I have so many options, so many deep editing and stuff, and independent things, and global EQ, non-global EQ, and gain knobs and things, and I do not want to crawl around the floor anymore for adjusting these things. Something that complicated belongs in an area where I can reach it on my microphone stand or something like this, as I can do with my 85. And it's not too shabby actually. And the rest is on the floor, foot switches, like MIDI foot switches or something like this. This is just my 2 cents, but I guess 99% of these guitarists out there think different. So what did I like? The possibilities and the basic sound. It's so many well thought of things in there, and the sound, the basic sound is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I really like this global EQ thing, so for adjusting to my 2 guitars, and then having the preset or manual EQ for dialing further things for venue or sound or whatsoever. The compressor is fine, it's very decent, especially the soft one. And the size, it's not too big actually. Won't hurt your back. And what did I not like? Some things. First, the manual. The German manual is, let's not talk about German, we are English now. Some things are simply missing and some I think are plain wrong. Okay? For example, I could not accomplish initializing a preset. I just couldn't. I must admit, and I think it's a shame to put it like this, but I have to say so, I'm an intelligent person. I'm in the upper 10% on this planet, okay? Eat this. And I did not get everything in this manual. Maybe it's because my eyes are too weak for this. I guess my mother would be convinced there's nothing written in there because it's so small. I did not like the reverb, the ambience. I'm used to better things, but as I already mentioned, let's just think about what this thing costs. Use something else, maybe. I really would have liked all these switches to be a little bit more flexible. As I mentioned, you cannot, for example, have one preset where this is tap tempo and this is delay, and another preset where this is looper on off and this is stop and this is clear. This is not possible, but I would have loved to have it this way. And the last thing that I must point out, what I did not like, is the lack of connectivity. Huh? Do we have switches on there? No. I'm talking about things like timecode, MIDI on off, and all these things. Let's just imagine Boss would be a really nice and cool company and do something like this for vocalists. And you want these two units to talk to each other, like the delay being on the same time base or the looper starting at 1 for both units, and not the guitar looper being the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and the other looper is the 2.87, and that's lacking. Sorry. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you didn't, please do so. If you think this guy is worth mentioning, then please mention me. Tell all your guitar playing friends and singing friends that there's a cool nutty guy from Germany who's doing hard to understand English videos. And if you think supporting me would also be a good idea, do so by buying this thing through the merchandise links below this video. Just click on the description and then press buy. Please make me earn 2 cents for this video, please. Bye bye.